as promised, I'm here to share the raw, the real, the messy details of our home renovation process. Right after work, we're going to see another property.
Because last time I came, I didn't actually go out.
Don't wind me up, because I'll send people around there tomorrow to take these steels out.
This is it.
One of the reasons why we're actually making this video is so that you can learn like things to look out for. I just don't want anyone to experience what we experienced. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it was a whirlwind. You know, when we were doing this process, we were expecting as well, and you know, over the process of the renovation, we had the baby and we were not in the house, and there was just a lot of stuff that we had to experience. So it'd be, you know, good for those who are embarking on the perilous journey of renovation to know what to look out for.
Yeah. So before we carry on, I know that this is a home renovation video and there's going to be lots of questions around money. But I think it's really important that I let you guys know, I'm literally pleading with you guys. It's not that I'm trying to be evasive or I don't want to share actual costs. It's just that I am Nigerian. We're Nigerian. It's a bit of a cultural faux pas for us to divulge like specifics. And it's not because I don't want to, it's just because of the cultural element to it. So let's first of all talk about the buying process and how we got there. You know, we used to live in this small flat in Blackheath, and eventually we
Very small one-bed flat. And we had dreams of buying our own property someday. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that process? Because you've not said anything yet. I'm the sidekick. There's not much for me to say. Obviously, you know, we wanted to get on the property ladder. We'd been saving for a very long time, and we just felt it was important to get in early because at that time, property prices had we would have been saving over a period, but property prices at the time had dropped, and we felt that it was quite important to get in as soon as we could. So in order to do that, you know, we were saving over a period of years, and we had an idea, or Tura had an idea to spend her salary and then save mine. Yeah, so it was actually Ami that gave me that idea. Okay, so it was a friend of mine, Ami, that was like, you know what, Tura, if you really want to get there fast, spend one person's salary should be the spending and one person's salary should be the saving, and you'll get there so much faster. And I was like, you know what, that's actually a genius idea. Yeah, so it was hard, not gonna lie. You know, it was obviously very difficult because it required making a lot of sacrifices. That's how hard it was. I can't even say sacrifice. Yeah, it was very, very difficult. So we did that. We also saved bonuses. That was very painful because, you know, the countless bonuses was just going in towards like saving for the house and renovation. And then also we decided to buy basically a cheaper property, even though it was in London. We just didn't want to kind of buy a really expensive place like some other people I knew were doing. And then finally at the time, the government had a scheme that basically reduced stamp duty land tax. So it just meant that we were able to save a lot more than we would have had to save more basically. Yeah, we had to save more because also we were looking at getting not a major fixer-upper, but something where we would still have to do works. So our goal was to save not just for the deposit, but also for the reno. But we were so naive about reno prices, around reno costs. After viewing a lot of houses, we finally landed on this one. And I remember so vividly, we were standing there, we walked into the property, it was very old. I'm gonna insert some clips. It was so old. And I stood in the garden and I looked at Rotimi and I literally said in Yoruba, I was like, Ile wa lele yo. Which means this is our house. Yeah, which means this is our house. At that point, I thought she had gone crazy. I was just like, this place? I don't think so. I was like, I just had such a good vibe about it. The space, it felt like I could just sit down. I don't know how to explain it. It just felt like home to me. I probably looked at how many properties? I can't remember, but there was so much. At least 15. And properties were flying off. We will see a property today and it's gone within 5 minutes because there was so much demand at that time during COVID.
So it was like, we were like, are we ever going to get a property? And obviously we had a target because of the land tax thing.
Yeah,
yes.
It was on a limited sort of
time period. So we really wanted to get in so that we could make massive savings. So after searching and searching, I told Rotimi, I was like, if people are getting these houses within 5 minutes, it means that they are probably viewing these properties a lot earlier than we think. So I was like, Rotimi, I think we should speak to an agent one-on-one and tell them that before they put it on the website, they should contact us. Rotimi was like, Tara, that does not work like that. Doesn't work like that. I was like, trust me, it will work. So I got on the phone and I called someone from the agency, and literally within a day, he told me, he was like, look, there's this property that is going up. It's not on the site yet, but if you're serious, I said, yes, we have cash. We want to buy. And he was like, if you're really serious, come and view the property tomorrow. You'll be the first people to view the property. And if you like it, put in an offer. So I was like, okay. We came into the property. When we walked in here, it just did not look like an amazing place.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was nasty. You know, the carpets were old, random designs, and just very odd. It was just very odd looking. I'm more of a visual person, so when I saw it, I was just like, nah.
The way it looked, and I was just like, this is likely the place. And when we got home, we put in an offer.
For me, I like the place. It's the biggest place we've seen so far. Biggest. You know, it's a 15-minute walk to the station. The owner had lived there for 50 years. She bought the house in 1960 something. I just think it's a great place. It's a great place. It needs a lot of modernizing.
Yeah. I really think we're going to put in an offer.
Yeah,
We're going to put in an offer. We hope that the offer is accepted. I don't know why this feels so anticlimactic, but the offer was accepted. Yay!
Yep, put in an offer. Fast forward, the offer was accepted, and we began. They began the journey
that we didn't think that we would ever be in. So what happened next?
So after we put in the offer, obviously we're going through the legal process, which took as long as it took. I think it took about a month and a half or maybe 2 months. And in that period, we actually appointed project managers because we just felt like, we didn't know that much about renovation. We didn't know, and we were just amateurs, really, complete novices. So we appointed project managers to help with design and various other things, and help us with the budget and things like that. So that was quite helpful because, they provided information and were able to guide us through the process. The reason we did that was for a number of reasons. First, we were novices. We had no idea what we were doing. Second of all, the lease at the flat basically was going to run out, and because we had purchased the property, we didn't see the need to keep staying there. So we had basically planned to leave. So we needed someone who could be on site, essentially, to supervise the works and be our eyes and ears, essentially, whilst we were away. And also the project managers helped with design and stuff like that, things that I knew that I wasn't good at. And also I was working, a lot during that period, so I knew that just didn't have time.
But one of the things that the project managers helped us with was builder selection, helping us with the layout of the house, the design. So it was a 2-pronged thing. It was project management and interior design. So in terms of the layout, picking out furnishing, just stuff like that. Not actual not tables and chairs really, but the interior design and what do they call it? The flooring, fixtures in the house. Yeah, exactly. So that was something that was really helpful because we literally didn't know where to start. So obviously it was right around that period that we found out that we were expecting, and we didn't expect it to happen that quickly. But we always wanted to get a house first before, having children. Well, we wanted to be settled in the house, but we thought, what? We'll be settled in the house.
And if you want to find out about Tara's birth story, you can see it here or here, one of the two, or down in the description.
Who's teaching you all these things?
The fast learner. I think the main thing, because we found out we're expecting, which accelerated our timeline, right? Because we knew that we needed to get this stuff done. Mm-hmm. So we had a short period, we had given ourselves about like 4 months, 4 or 5 months to get it done.
Yeah.
So that was what sort of pushed in the urgency for us. So the project managers offered us a selection of 3 builders, and we chose one. The type of work we were doing was quite extensive.
Yeah. Massive.
The previous owners had done an extension, a rear extension, which was fine, but it didn't really make sense in terms of what we were looking for. So we decided to do a wraparound extension. So it was basically just wrapping round to the previous extension they had. But because the property was so old and the extension was done so long ago, the extension had to be scrapped, essentially, like demolished, and they had to start again.
Yeah.
So in that process, obviously we had to apply for planning permission for the wrap around.
Yeah.
And that took quite a long time. So our idea, if you think about the baby, having to move out of the flat, etc.,
was that we'll do upstairs?
Yeah, we suggested to the builder, and he was like, yeah, on board, that we'll do upstairs, and then pending the time the planning permission comes in, by the time they finish upstairs, we can just start downstairs.
Yeah.
That was what was agreed, basically.
Yeah. And also, it's important to mention that this builder obviously presented himself as someone who was really he was very charming, very, he was always showing up whenever we'll call him. He would have meetings, calls with us, even via Zoom. And it was like, he made us feel so warm, so comfortable. We kind of trusted him from the get-go. We felt like, this guy has our best interest at heart. He wants to do he told us from the get-go, I'm not here to do anything elaborate, but I'll do a simple, solid build for you guys. And we kind of trusted that. So, we went ahead with him and we're like, start with upstairs. We'll finish upstairs. And then eventually, God forbid, if we even have to live in a renovation, at least upstairs is done and we can move into the property.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. That was the idea, because we just felt that overall, the house will be ready before baby arrives. Because we were expecting baby to arrive in November.
Yeah.
So we just felt by the time baby arrives, all things said and done, we're going to be in the house. We're going to be living there. It will be a short period of time away from London. We'll come back and we'll start our lives in this, renovated property. At least that's what we thought.
That's what we thought. So a couple of months into the reno, we started to notice some issues.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it was actually not even a couple of months in. It was actually quite early. When they started demolishing, they basically left windows open so people could essentially come in. They didn't secure the property. They moved some of our possessions out of the way, and then we didn't know where it was. So communication was a massive issue. So that was the first, I guess, I wouldn't say first seed, but it was the first sprinkle of doubt, if you will. Because we were just thinking, what's going on here? You need to have control over your boys. And the builder, he apologized profusely, and it was like, oh no, we're so sorry, we're gonna deal with this. I did definitely pride myself in getting things done. But we noticed that he started blaming other people. He had his own project manager who eventually he fired within like a couple of weeks of working. So it was always an excuse. There was always some kind of reason why things didn't go the way they were meant to, or why things happened a certain way. So that was the first kind of, I'll say the sprinkle. The seed of doubt started later on.
Yeah. Now at this time, remember that we had moved to the countryside. So we didn't have ears, we were 3 hours away from London. So it wasn't like we could come into the property whenever we wanted to come and supervise what was going on. So we basically trusted our project managers to kind of oversee the entire thing and just see to the issues. And honestly, they helped us with like the budget. They helped us with a lot of different things and also communicating with him. And they also helped us even at night, like coming to secure certain parts of the property, just being our eyes and ears on ground, and they really like helped us with all of that. And we felt really reassured, like this was going, we had people who had integrity and who could actually help us to, what's the word?
To see the
project through to completion.
Yeah, and over the course of that period, whilst they were helping, there were a lot of issues that, in terms of the build, there was always delays. You had the builders, people were never on site.
They will come here, nobody's here.
No one's there.
How are you building and expecting us to be in the property within 4 months and nobody is on site on a whole working day?
Yeah, and there were always excuses. I mean, some of the excuses I could understand, because there were excuses about material shortage, which is after COVID. There was a lot of shortages, but there were shortage. They were always saying, "Oh, we don't have materials. There are no materials." Blah 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 blah. The main thing that we struggled with was waiting almost a month for steels. At this point, our building permission had been granted, or planning permission had been granted. So we needed steels to start the works that we were planning to do, which was when it all kicked off, really.
When the steels finally arrived, we didn't realize that this will be the beginning of the end. Let me tease you with this phone call with someone that we call our builder.
You have got this incorrect. Do not wind me up, because I'll send people around there tomorrow to take these steels out. Not play with my education on this. Do me a favour, meet me on site tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
In the next video, we're going to share with you everything that went down, how we resolved the situation, and how we finally moved into this property. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and I'll catch you in the next video.